Hi, it's your girl Pammy, and welcome back to Locs Talk. This is a revised recording of the episode Pros and Cons of Oiling Locks. Hope you got your time, because I do. Let's do this, y'all. Welcome to Locs Talk. Welcome back. Before we begin, I first like to ask you to please click subscribe. If you like the contents of this video, please click the like. My nerves kicked in all over again. How? Anywho, below, down here, you'll see my website as well. Feel free to join in. It's also written in the description below. We would just click on the link and it'll take you directly to my website. Or if you go into the bar on my channel page in the Linktr.ee, you can also have access to all of my socials, including my website on there. Let's get into it. Let's just jump right on in, right? Okay, let's get started. Again, let me remind you that Locs Talk is a blog that I started that talks about loose natural hair and locks. So today we're going to talk about oil. Yes, oil. And how most people, and I'm going to say most because it's true, so many people live by oil being the holy grail of moisture. It is not. What if I told you if you're thirsty and I put a glass of water in front of you and a glass of oil in front of you, which one are you going to pick up to quench your thirst? It's definitely going to be the water, right? Well, with oil has many benefits, but using it as a moisturizer is not one of them. So let's kill that myth, right? And move right on into it. Because while oil is great for your hair, too much of a good thing can destroy your hair too. So let's talk about it. Well, let's start. Okay, so the first thing we're going to discuss are the pros and cons of oiling your hair and or locks. Second, we're going to go into how to properly wash your hair, especially when you have a buildup of oil in your hair. And understand that what I discuss here is all researchable information. You can look it up for yourself. This is not my rules. It just is. Okay? So, yeah. It's important to know that as a loctician, every day is a learning experience. Every client that I receive is a learning experience, and the education never stops. It's ever evolving. So the information that I share here with you today, there is scientific evidence out there that backs up the theories that I have and will discuss with you today in regards to oiling your hair properly and also cleaning it and the benefits, pros and cons, and so on and so on. Moving on to the next one. Hi. So now we got into the pro portion of the pros of using oil on your scalp. But before I go over this list that you see here, I just want to also remind you to think of the density of the oil that you're using as well. The density is very important because the thicker the density, the more probable it will build up in your hair. And that is what we want to avoid. We do not want oil buildup, especially oil. And especially if you have locks, you do not want the oil build up in your hair. We'll talk more about that later. But the density that I recommend is something more lightweight, that's not going to be heavy on your hair. Essential oils are great for hair growth. But I do recommend that you not use essential oil directly on your skin. It can become very irritating. It's best to use a good carrier oil when you are mixing essential oils when it comes to oiling your hair. So great carrier oils is like fractionated coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, not jojoba, jojoba oil. What else? Castor oil is another good carrier oil. And those are really good, and I use quite a few nice oils. I make some of my own oils that I use on my hair as well. But yeah, so let's get into the pros. Well, my top 3 pros of using oil on your locks. So the first one is it helps to moisturize your scalp. Now, this is in addition to a water-based moisturizer. It's not the oil by itself. Okay. Second, it stimulates the blood. So that is blood flow to your scalp, allowing for blood. I mean, not allowing for blood, allowing for hair growth and healthy hair follicles. And it also aids when you are treating your scalp with moisture for dandruff and dryness. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit more to help you understand what those 3 pros are. So going back to number 1 with it moisturizing your scalp. Not only does it, it also gives your scalp the nutrients that it needs. A lot of oils that we use on our scalp has the nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, and things like that. So it aids with moisturizing, but it also works together in conjunction with that as hair food, if that's a good way to look at it. Now, I'm speaking in layman's terms because we don't need to go into all the scientific stuff. We're talking to regular people, so I'm going to talk to you like you're 4 years old, right? Going into the hair stimulation. So when you are applying oil to your scalp, when you do a gentle massage using the ball tips of your fingertips, in addition to what's in the oil and the nutrients that's in the oil, the massage helps to get a nice blood flow. The more you have a good blood flow going to your scalp, the better your chances of stimulating your scalp and waking up those hair follicles to promote hair growth. And again, number 3, when it aids in the dry scalp, treatment, again, that is in addition to moisturizing the scalp first. Now, usually when I moisturize my scalp to get rid of dryness, I like to use a kind of a thicker moisture to make sure. So I like to use pure aloe vera gel on my scalp to make sure this, and then I'll seal it in with a little bit of oil. But the oil mixes in really nicely. And I usually put like a few drops of essential oils in the aloe gel. So instead of me putting like an oil on top of it, I'll put like drops of essential oil inside of the aloe gel. And when I put it on my scalp, the nutrients from that as well as the aloe gel is doing the job that I needed to do. Because you don't want that dry. You don't want the snow. Now right now I got cat fur on me. So that's not dandruff, it's my cat. I know I'm corny. It's okay though. Let's move into the next one. Okay, I'm back. So this portion, I'm going to have to take my hair down because I'm going to show you a really quick, I told you it's long. A really quick moisturizing routine that I do with my locks. Okay. So the brand of refreshing spray that I use is Made for Locks, as you see right here. Okay. Made for Locks. I love my Made for Locks. This is the lavender vanilla sage scented one. This is not permanent. It's one of the limited time. So you see, it's a nice moist mist. That got in my mouth, but it tastes good. I do not eat this. Okay, I just noticed that I sprayed it in my mouth because I have a lot of hair. It takes more than just a few, but all it takes is a nice light mist. This is aloe vera based. The other refresher sprays that Made for Lock makes is made with rose water, so it's based with rose water. This one is based with aloe vera. Okay, and I like to use my fingers in a downward motion to rake it like so. Now, remember I was talking about the density of the oil. This is a spray oil. You see how light that is in there? This is also made for Locks. Same scent, vanilla, lavender, sage, limited edition. You see how it's misty? It's not crazy and a whole lot. See that? Now, the way I like to spread the product in my hair is with my Made for Locs lint brush. It's a lock brush, but some people use it to remove lint from their hair, which I do sometimes. But in this case, I'm just using it to spread the product through my hair. Like so. Like so. So, that is my little demo of my badly in need of a retwist hair because it's been a few months. I think since like September was the last time that I retwisted my hair. And of course, I do little touch-ups here and there, but for the most part, I leave my hair alone. I let it do what it's going to do. And as you see, it's a light glow to it, but it's not crazy and deranged. And that's the moisture routine. Yeah, but I have a lot of hair, so you know how long I've been at this game. Okay? That was just a quick demo. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I had to put it back up because I don't want to sit back on my hair and do all that stuff, so I'll put it back up. So now we're going to get into the cons of using oil in your hair. There's two major ones that I want to touch base on. However, it's going to incorporate a lot of, a few of the other reasons why they are cons. So let's get into that, okay? So number one, too much oil can make the hair look really greasy. Not good. So what does that mean? A lot of people, like this bottle here, this is a 4-ounce bottle oil spray. This lasts me a few months, like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. Okay. But I have had people come to me and say, oh, I'm finished with this bottle and this in less than a month. You're putting too much oil in your hair. So you don't want your hair, especially with our hair, especially with locks and stuff, your hair start to look dingy and dirty and when it has too much oil in it because your hair becomes like a magnet and everything sticks to it. You don't want that. Our hair is not supposed to be spit shined. It's supposed to have a glow. It's not supposed to be glossy. There's a difference between glossy and the glow. It's supposed to have a glow, not glossy. Glow. You want to glow. You want to glow. Right? You don't want to be glossy and dingy and dirty and, it's too much. Right? So like when you are oiling your hair and or scalp, you shouldn't be doing it. Now, if you're oiling your hair, it's a difference between oiling your hair and your scalp as well. Like I said, as you've seen in the demo with the moisture routine, I did the spray with the moisturizer first, and then I spritzed a little bit of oil just to seal in that moisture. That was it. And I don't do that every time I moisturize my hair, but every now and then I'll do it. But then when you're oiling your scalp produces oil on its own. If you have your skin, our skin makes oil on its own. Yes, we do have to moisturize our skin too, but a lot of people don't moisturize their skin using oils. They'll seal in the moisture with the oils. Like, most people that put any kind of things like shea butter and stuff on their skin, it is like right after they got out of the shower because why? Now their skin is full of moisture and now they're sealing it in with the shea moisture, but they don't just go on dry skin with the oil base anything, right? Same thing happens with your scalp. You do not want to overdo it with moisturizing your scalp. So please tone it down. You don't want your hair glossy. You just want to glow. When you got that glow, now going into con number 2. Overuse can cause buildup. That buildup is disgusting. Have you ever washed your hair or seen videos of people getting their locks washed or detox and that thick pasty white stuff is coming? That's buildup of not just product but oil. It's more oil than anything, and everything gets trapped in there. It'd be dead skin cells and dandruff, shedded hair. It'd be and it's just clumped and lock in to, you don't want that buildup, and it's usually the oil that locks that in. So don't be overdoing it with oil, because I've had people say, "Oh, my hair's so dry," and I put oil on it, and it's still just dry and itchy because you just trapped the dryness. You didn't do anything else, and that's why. And then they be like, "Oh, if I put more." If it didn't work the first time, adding more is not going to make it work any further. Don't over oil your hair. Not only that, when you over oil your hair, you're going to clog hair follicles and cause build up. And if your hair follicles is clogged up with oil, it's going to stunt growth. So then your hair's not going to grow like it used to. And you like wonder what happened to my hair, because you're overdoing it. If you have a plant and you give it too much water, the plant will die. Too much of a good thing. Oil, as much as it's a good thing for you, it's too much. If it's too much, you can kill your hair. We don't want to do that. Okay? Those are the two cons of oil in hair. Not con like oil's bad, but more negligent and not knowing how to properly use oil. Don't overdo it. You're not supposed to glow. You're not supposed to be glossy. Just a nice, warm, beautiful glow. Right? And you don't want to overdo it where everything gets all clogged up. That's like when somebody put too much soap in the washing machine and it just got this white cloud of suds, and then you take it out and you still got all this dirt stuck to your clothes because all the dirt stuck to the suds, and then the suds stuck it back to your clothes. Who knew? Same thing happens with oil. Don't overdo it. Okay? So now we're going to get into some of the beneficial oils that I like to use. You'll see pictures of it, I think probably to my left or right. Like I said, I'm just re-recording the video, so all of the little edited stuff that I have there is still going to be there. First oil that I want to tell you about is Jamaican black castor oil. Now, castor oil in general is great to use for your hair. It stimulates hair growth, which we want to do, right? You want to grow your hair. Most people want their hair to grow. So castor oil is the oil for that. I like Jamaican black castor oil. And I also like to infuse it with rosemary oil, maybe even a few drops of lavender oil in there, because those essential oils are really good for hair growth as well, stimulating the scalp and really promoting hair growth. So that's the first of a few. Stay tuned. So the next oil, well, it's two oils here, jojoba oil and argan oil. We're going to start with jojoba oil or jojoba oil. Some even say jojoba, but it's jojoba. This oil is really good. Great carrier oil. So like when you're mixing essential oils, jojoba oil is excellent for that. It's also really good for clearing dandruff. So like if you are treating dandruff, jojoba oil is a really great oil to work with in order to do that. I like to blend that with tea tree oil and some basil oil to really break down dandruff and or seborrheic dermatitis on the scalp before washing hair. Works wonders. Really good. You know, I suffer from SB, so I do it on my own hair, and yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Again, jojoba oil, tea tree oil, basil oil. Those are the three oils that I put together. Jojoba is the carrier oil, and I put drops of tea tree and basil oil in with that. Jojoba oil also softens the hair, gives it a nice glow, not glossy, but glow, right? And 2 thumbs up for jojoba oil, right? Now, argan oil is really good for the vitamins that it provides, fatty acids and other nutrients that are in it. That's really good for, really providing a food source to your hair and your scalp. Now, here's what I like to do with argan oil. I like to whip it with a carrier oil. So it's argan oil, right? A little bit of jojoba oil, and then a carrier base oil. Typically, I like to use for this the olive oil, and I whip it until it becomes a cream and use it as a hair mask. So instead of me doing hot oil treatments on my locks, I do argan oil based hair mask to do the oil treatment on my locks. I'll put it on. I'll let it sit for 15-20 minutes on my wet hair with a cap. I have the heat cap, or you just put a regular plastic cap on and sit under the dryer, either one. But I have the actual, heat cap that looks like the little cat ears. And I'll sit under it 15-20 minutes, set to medium, and then I'll wash it out. Now, at the time when I do a hair mask on my locks, I do use Castile shampoo to break that oil up, so it's not overbearing my hair when I do it. And you don't want to put like a thick coat of it because, like I said, it'll burrow and stay stuck in there. So be careful how you do it. All right. Yeah. Typically, the time of year that I would do this mask for my hair is usually when I'm transitioning from winter into the rebirth season, my personal new year, not my personal, but the new year from my belief system, in the spring, the rebirth season. So the winters are harsh. They're cold. It does take a toll on your hair when it's cold and your hair gets really dry and dehydrated. Extreme cold can dehydrate your hair the same way extreme high heat can dehydrate your hair. So you want to replenish that with a good oil treatment, because when it gets too dried out, not good. It's not good. So that's a good time to do a revamp, so to speak. Okay, so now we're going to get into the brand that I represent, that I use on myself, on my clients. 99.999% of my clients use this brand as well. Again, as I demonstrated with the moisture routine made for locks. So I have a number of oils here on the table that provide you with the nutrients that many of the other oils that I was talking about are in these oils. Now, this is the spray conditioning oil. Again, see how loose that is? It's not heavy, right? This is a spray oil. It's a little nozzle on there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So it comes out like a mist. The scent of this one is pomegranate mango. Pomegranate mango. Can you see that? No, the light is just... Okay, there it is. Okay. That one is really good for the moisture routine, but you can separate your hair and it'll get in there too. This is really good. The print is so small and tiny on this, but it's sulfate free, parabens free, alcohol free. It's vegan. It's silicone free. Now that's important because silicone does create this coat on your hair that makes it difficult for anything moist to penetrate and get into your hair. So you want stuff that's silicone free. Okay. That's a spray. It's a conditioning oil. It also has biotin vitamin in it, so it promotes hair growth and everything like that too. This is another oil. This is also by Made for Locks. This is Jamaican ganja hemp castor oil. So again, it contains some of the oils that you hear me, the other oils that you hear me talking about inside of this, right? This smells amazing. It's a conditioning oil. This is pretty much gone. I've had it a couple of months. So you see how, oh, smells so good. And it's thicker than the one in the spray bottle. So you only need a little bit of that, and a little bit goes a long way. You see how shiny my hands is? Just from that one little drop? Yeah. Then there is growth serum. This scent is pineapple, but this is Loc Vegan Growth Serum. So this is a growth oil. Again, this is really good. It's still filled up to here. I had this several months. Now, when I use this, it's literally just a couple of drops, and you put it in your trouble area. You'll feel it foaming up when you put it on. You just massage it in gently. And I'm going to tell you a secret. I didn't have eyebrows. I used growth serum to grow my eyebrows back in. So, again, it's free of all the things, sulfates, parabens, alcohol, and it's vegan, silicone free, right? And it has the biotin vitamin, growth stimulants in here. It really wakes up the hair follicles and promotes your hair to grow. Now, when you hear me say it promotes your hair to grow, it doesn't mean you go buy a bottle of this and use it all in a week, thinking your hair is going to grow 10 times faster because you put a whole lot of it in your hair. That's not how it works. Use it properly and be patient and let it do the work it's supposed to do. That's like a person that's wanting to bake a cake, so they turn the oven up to 400 degrees thinking it's going to cook faster. No, you're just going to burn the cake. Don't misuse it. Okay? Another growth oil that for me is one of my personal favorites, also made by Made for Locs. It's the Locs Vegan Peppermint Growth Oil. Now this, you can see the peppermint leaves inside. It also has rosemary leaves in there. So it's not just peppermint, it's peppermint and rosemary in here. And it smells, I love earthy. As you see, I'm very natural. So earthy is my thing. So again, this is a little looser than the black castor oil one. Remember I said castor oil is definitely thicker and more dense. And again, I just put 2 drops. Look how shiny that is. A little bit goes a long way. And this is minty too. So waste not, want not, right? And finally, here I have on the table, also by Made for Locs. This is the conditioning oil. This is, again, not too heavy, not too dense. And I've had these bottles for several months, right? Like I said, it don't take a whole lot. And even when I use it on my client's hair, I don't like nozzle and put a line between each part. You just need to put drops in between and give it a nice massage. A little bit goes a long way. Excellent oils. I will put the website in the description below so you know where to get yours, okay? All right. Hello again. So earlier I talked about an oil blend that I put together when I am treating dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis. And I like to use jojoba and argan oil as a carrier oil in order to create this concoction. So it's a 1 ounce of carrier oil, jojoba, and argan oil. I like to go half and half, like half an ounce for one and half an ounce for the other. Plus, 5 drops of tea tree oil and 8 drops of basil oil. Drops. Yes, that's how strong essential oil is. You do not need to put half the bottle in, so per 1 ounce of carrier oil, you're going to put 5 drops of tea tree oil and 8 drops of basil oil. Okay. Once you've done that, you put it on the scalp, massage it in, let it sit there for 10 to 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes, and then wash your hair as usual. And that will help break up any dandruff and scaling and stuff that's on your scalp. So you don't have to do that scratching thing. I don't understand why people do that. I don't do that. I'm not going to scratch people's scalp because you can create infections and stuff like that. And I'm not saying because I'm working with dirty tools, because I'm very sanitized when it comes to cleaning all of my equipment. But it's just too irritating to be scraping a person's scalp. The scalp is very delicate. So this is a way to break up scaling and flaking on the scalp without having to do that. Okay, that's all. Okay, so now that we went over some of my favorite oils that I like to use on hair, and that's just scratching the surface. There's a lot of really great oils that you can use on your hair. But just be mindful of the right carrier oils to mix and blend with. Don't just throw any oil on your hair. With that being said, I'm just going to read you a passage from my blog that's on my website real quick. It says, a well-formulated blend of essential and nourishing oils is very beneficial to help prevent buildup that likely results in severe dermatitis outbreaks, which naturally is why the Made for Locs conditioning oil happens to be one of my favorites. Okay, so why is oiling beneficial? Your scalp and skin it's skin, and it's just on your head and covered with hair, but it is skin like any the rest of your body, right? But just like the skin on your body, it can dry out when it's not being properly cared for. It can become flaky and scaly, and worse, filled with bacteria. Right? That can cause irritation and blemishes. Remember, too much of a good thing is not ideal and can go bad very quickly. While the benefits of oil is to help lock in moisture, it also can lock in bacteria. It can enter the follicles and simply just sit there. This can lead to inflamed follicles, and that can cause infections, pain and inflammation, swelling, tenderness, and abscesses. This can damage the follicles severely if oil is not properly removed on a regular basis. So you have to wash your hair right, okay? This is why I cannot say this enough. Do not over oil your scalp, and don't put oil on dirty hair or scalp either. And do wash your hair properly to remove oil, when you wash your hair. So we're going to get into that in a minute. Okay, so washing your hair properly. And this generally is a guide for more coarser hair. We're talking about like 3A hair and up, like really curly hair. Because straighter hair tends to get oily more often, which is why generally, somebody with straighter European hair and they say they wash their hair every day, the reason for it is because their hair is thinner and it just collects more oil and it just gets stringy looking. So yeah, they got to wash that oil out of their hair. Oftentimes washing their hair almost on a daily basis. We don't have to do that. Our hair don't collect oil like that. It doesn't get greasy and oiled up like that unless you are actually physically putting the oil in your head, which I recommend you do not do, because we already talked about what happens when you over oil your hair, right? So generally, we're going to start, and it comes down to scheduling and timing. So for if you have, like I said, a 3A type hair that's more coily, thicker, fuller, coarser, and up, the timing is really based on a lot of different things, but generally I like to do it by season. So like during the winter months, for me, I can go a solid 4 weeks, like a month before I wash my hair. I don't go outside, and my house is not filthy. I keep my house clean. And most of the time I keep my hair covered, like unless I just want to let it breathe a little bit, but still, I don't need to wash it every day. You don't need to do that. So in the wintertime, I can go anywhere 3 to 4 weeks between washes. Springtime and fall, every 2 weeks. The time that I wash my hair the most is in the summertime because it's hot. It's hell. It's hot. It's really hot. And I sweat a lot and stuff like that. And I don't want sweaty hair. So I wash my hair once a week, sometimes twice a week. It depends on the activity I'm doing. Especially if I go to the beach, we're washing it out. I don't keep ocean water in my hair. The salt, the pH knocks it off. My hair get dry and brittle. So that's another conversation. But scheduling and timing is important when it comes down to washing your hair. Typically, if we want to go ideally, once every 2 weeks for 3A hair and up, coarser, thicker, fuller. Okay? All right. That's first. Time and schedule. Okay, so now we're going to get into the steps of how to properly wash your hair. First and foremost, number one, use a really good and reasonable amount of shampoo. So this is the salon size, but this is the Made for Locs ACV shampoo, right? There we go. Thank you, Light, for being cooperative. This is the Made for Locs ACV shampoo. ACV stands for apple cider vinegar shampoo. This is a clarifying shampoo. And remember what I said, a clarifying shampoo is excellent for cleaning oil out of your hair. So we're talking about oil, so this is why I'm using this as an example. Now, Made for Locs does carry a number of other shampoos that is great for detoxing the hair. The black charcoal shampoo is also great for this, as well as the Castile. It's a very nice orange citrusy smell to it. So it's a Castile shampoo. All three are detoxing, clarifying shampoos and excellent for cleaning oil out of your hair. And when I say a reasonable amount, I mean, now this is a 1 liter size salon size bottle. I only need a few pumps of this to get a full head, because the first wash is always going to be the scalp for me. And you want to get in there and really let it sit and massage it in good, right? You don't want to just be all cheap about it. And you want a reasonable amount, not too much, certainly not too little. You need enough in there where, and the first wash, you're not going to get the biggest amount of suds, whether it's sulfate in it or not. You just not, because, it's mixing with the oil and the dirt and stuff like that. The nice suds comes second wash. But that first wash, it's definitely necessary. And you want to do at least 3 good washes. Me personally, I do 4 to 5 on mine because, like I said, I have a lot of hair. But at least 3 good washes to get everything out of your hair, okay? Second, when you are washing, you're not scrubbing your hair with your fingernails. Remember I talked about microbiology, little creatures living under your fingernails? This is why surgeons take 5 minutes to scrub in. And they wear not 1, but 2 pair of gloves when they do surgery, because they still know, even after all of that scrubbing and washing and doing surgical soap and cleaning and all of that stuff, that still an infection can happen. The same thing can happen to your scalp. Stop using your fingernails to scratch your scalp when you're washing your hair. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. And you're wondering why your scalp is irritated and you have scabs and stuff, because you bruised it with your fingernails. Use the ball tips of your fingers, and your hair acts as an exfoliant as well. So when you're moving it around and your hair is rolling around on your scalp, it's lifting up all the dead skin and all those different things off your hair. There's also little silicone scrub brushes that you can use that's not going to harm your scalp. But be careful, okay? Step 3. When washing your hair, like I said, give at least 3 good washes. And the first part you're going to focus on is your scalp, and you're going to work your way outward. So scalp, out, okay? That's important. Focus on the scalp and work your way out. Don't just put it on the hair. The scalp is the most important part when you're washing your hair, okay? And again, number 4, 2 to 3 cycles. Me, I highly recommend at least 3 cycles. Me, I do, like I said, 4 or 5. Each time I just get further down the hair. The very last time I'm focused just on my hair, but I work on that scalp and I work my way down. And the scalp and work further down. And scalp and work even further down. And then all of this, I'm just washing it like I'm washing the shirt, like scrub washing and washing the shirt. So we're going to do that. And I do have other videos where I do a whole full demo of how I wash my hair, where you actually see me washing my hair and doing all of this stuff, okay? Okay, come here. Let me tell you a secret. Your hair and the shampoo always tells me when you are over oiling your hair. I've had these conversations with not one, but several clients who has over oiled their hair. If it takes you more than 2 to 3 times to wash your hair and the shampoo doesn't suds up, 9 times out of 10, it's not the shampoo. You got too much oil in your hair. I've had an incident where someone in the past who's no longer a client, because they still didn't listen and it just got to be too much of a headache. Go be somebody else's headache. Where they over oiled their hair swore up and down that they were not over oiling their hair. And like, it would take me a whole bottle of shampoo to try and wash it out. And that whole bottle only happened the one time. After that, we had to use a stronger Castile shampoo or do a detox to get all that oil out of their hair. But that becomes expensive, and they didn't want to pay for the extra work that needed to be done to get the oil out of their hair. Yet they continued to put oil in your hair. Your hair is going to tell me. You could tell me what you want to tell me, but your hair is going to tell me. There's things that happens. Like I said, this shampoo does not suds up. The water turns into this white gooky paste. Stop putting too much oil in your hair. It's not beneficial, even when it comes down to trying to wash it out. And if a person got to work that hard to get oil and grease out of your hair, it's not worth it. It really isn't. So don't over oil your hair. That's all. Okay, so now we're going to talk about conditioning locks. Now, when it comes down to conditioning your locks, we're talking about locks now. There's a time constraint on that. So like if you're just using flat out conditioner, if you have starter locks and you haven't locked yet, it's not recommended that you condition your locks. And the reason for this is because conditioner sort of kind of relaxes your curls and it delays the process of your hair locking. So this is why it's recommended that you do not condition, like with conditioner, your starter locks that are not yet locked. With coily and curlier textured hair, when you are locking, the hair's not matting together. It is actually, the curls are just getting tighter and tighter and tighter until they all lock together. So when your hair's too relaxed, it just takes much longer. Now, if you have the patience for it, okay. But trust me, I've seen people did it and it's like, I shouldn't have conditioned my hair now. Look at it and it's blah, blah, blah. We can't cry about it. So be forewarned, if you are in the beginning stages of your lock journey, hold off on conditioning your hair. However, and I experimented this with several of my clients who volunteered their crowns to me to test the theory. But Made for Locks also makes 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. And again, it's the Jamaican one. It's 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. It's tropical flavor. It smells delicious. It smells like a vacation in a bottle. But the 2-in-1 conditioner, it's not oversaturated with conditioner. And so it's not going to relax the hair too much, but it'll soften it enough for you not to feel like your hair feels brittle. So I've had clients that I started their locks and I washed their starter locks, like one of their cycles, not the whole time. Like I will, and that's another thing about the Made for Lock shampoo. You can mix and match them. You don't have to specifically stick to one. Like you can use all of them in one wash setting. I've done it myself. And your hair is going to smell amazing. But with a lot of my clients with starter locks, I would start their first wash with the ACV shampoo, which is clearly is a clarifying shampoo. You want to get the product and oil and all of that stuff out of their hair first. And then the second wash is usually with the 2-in-1 conditioner. And with the starter locks, it's a smaller amount of hair, so I don't have to do more than 2 wash cycles to thoroughly get their hair clean. But this is really good if you are in the beginning stages of your lock journey, that if you want to incorporate this to one of your wash cycles when you're washing your hair. This is fantastic, okay? But other than that, with a conditioner, you also want to make sure you're not using a conditioner that's too dense and thick, because that will get stuck in your hair. If it is thick, I suggest diluting it with water to make it lower. But also to recommend, Made for Locks does make a fantastic conditioner for those of you who have mature locks and want to condition your locks. It leaves your locks feeling really silky and smooth. Or like they say in the tribe, like butter, baby. Like it's like butter, baby. But it's really silky and it's so soft to the point where when you're rinsing it out, you're not even sure if you rinsed it out because your hair is still so soft and silky after rinsing it out. So conditioning is recommended for mature locks, but for starter locks, if you want to use the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner by Made for Locks, please, by all means. Okay? If you are going to use conditioner on your hair, dilute it with water to make it thinner so it doesn't get stuck in your hair. That is all. Okay, so we're going to go over it one last time to reiterate the shampoos that I recommend. Now, this is not etched in stone. This is just a recommendation. This is what I use for myself. This is what I use on my clients. They can attest to how wonderful this is. Made for Locks has a huge tribe of people that has grown over the past couple of years. The shampoos are the ACV apple cider vinegar shampoo is a clarifying shampoo. Then there's the black charcoal shampoo, which is also a detoxing shampoo. There's also the black charcoal conditioner that you can pair with the black charcoal shampoo or with any of the products. Then there is the Castile citrus orange scented Castile clarifying and detoxing shampoo by Made for Locks. And then there is the color treatment shampoo, rose and hibiscus. It smells like roses and hibiscus flowers. Yes. And you can pair that with the conditioner that you can put on afterwards that I said leave your hair feeling really silky or like butter, baby, like butter. And then there's the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, the Jamaican 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that smells like vacation in the bottle and leaves your hair feeling amazing. All of these shampoos cleanses your hair so well. They are sulfate free, parabens free, phthalates free. Okay, no alcohol. Yeah. So if you're looking for something that's not going to be harsh on your hair, Made for Locks is for you. I promise you, I do not recommend anything that I can't swear by for myself. Okay? I'm just saying. I hope that you give it a try. Like I said, I'm going to link in the description below how you can buy it for yourself. And you just tell me how you like it, okay? Come back and put it in my comments. Trust me, they'll love to hear it. Okay. So now that I've explained to you what to do in order to properly wash your hair and cleanse oil out of your hair and any other buildup of product, we're going to talk about what not to do. Now, I have been told, I have viewed, I have heard, I have seen that people do some of the craziest things when it comes to washing your hair. Soap ain't just soap. And this is not shampoo. There are chemicals in dish detergent that should not be in your hair. This will strip not only your hair, but also the natural essence and oils and things that's in your hair. It can cause damage, cause dryness, and breakage. We don't wash our locks with dish detergent. It is harsh, chemically harsh. What are the things that can happen to your hair if you wash your hair with dish detergent? It can severely dry out and dehydrate and damage the shafts of your hair. It damages the follicles of your hair, drying out your skin. There are chemicals in dish detergent that should never touch your scalp, your skin, your hair. Period. I can't stress that enough. Okay? Again, this is not shampoo. Do not wash your hair with dish detergent. Okay? That's all. So now we're going to talk about silicone. Silicone is a subject that is not talked about often enough, and it's important that we include it in this conversation. A lot of oils, believe it or not, like store-bought oils, contain silicone. So really take the time to read the label of any oils that you purchase from the store. All right. Because the carrier oil may not be all what they say the carrier oil is. So when you read the ingredients, look at what's on there. The silicone, anything that's in it with cone or ONE is some sort of silicone. Silicone is a product that's inside of products that is intended to make the hair smooth, shiny, soft, kind of, and things like that. Silicone is often found in oils, shampoos, conditioners, other hair products such as gels and things like that. What they don't tell you about silicone is, one, it's very difficult to clean off the hair because once it sticks, it's like a really tough magnet. So it also forms this thin layer like cellophane or saran wrap that creates this barrier where your hair is under, and then there's the barrier of silicone, and then anything that's outside of it beads up. Any moisture that's outside of it will bead up and cannot penetrate that cellophane or that, saran wrap, that thin layer. And so your hair can wind up suffering underneath it because it's not receiving the nutrients or the moisture that it needs in order for it to thrive. So be very careful with using products that that contains silicone. All right. So I know this might seem to be off topic with the topic of oil, right? But it's not far-fetched because when it comes down to it, please be gentle with yourself, give yourself grace, and understand that in some cases it's a coping mechanism. But playing in your hair and overstimulating your hair and overly manipulating your hair can create overactive glands where your hair will produce a high volume and amount of oil, which can lead to things like folliculitis and severe dermatitis and things like that. So especially if you have other underlying health issues, our scalp tells us so much about our own internal health. So when you're playing in your hair, it can cause damage that can be caused by oil. So like if you're naturally excreting oil and you've already put oil in your hair, now you have like an overage of oil, and it can cause the same damages that you would have if you over oiled your hair. This example that I give you here are two pictures of my son, and this is years ago because now he's much older. But during the pandemic, for example, when he was home doing the online school and stuff like that, a lot of our children was coping, and his coping mechanism when he just kept twirling and playing in his hair. And even though his mom is a loctician and I'm telling him stop doing that, you're going to damage your hair, it didn't register that well with him. And I realized I couldn't put too much pressure on him. If any damage would have happened, I'm here to fix it because of what I can do. But at the same time, it was also a teachable moment so I can warn others about the importance of not doing too much manipulation and overstimulating their hair where the glands in their scalp will produce too much oil. Because the oil that we produce, when it is overly produced, it can clog up the hair follicles and cause all kinds of damaging things to our scalp. So this is kind of like why I put this warning up there. But if you can see the before picture that's here next to me on the top, how damaged my son's locks looked versus how they turned out after I repaired them. I did have to trim some of them because they gotten so thin and skinny in the middle. A lot of times people ask that question, why are my locks skinny in the middle? If sometimes subconsciously or unconsciously, we don't realize that we're twirling our locks, and you actually are wearing down your lock when that happens, and it winds up really thin in the middle. Or just gently tugging and stuff like that. All these little things where we think we're just harmlessly playing in our hair will causing damage. So be careful with that. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to review the different oils that we talked about and some of the products that I talked about as well. You have the Jamaican black castor oil, the argan oil, jojoba or jojoba oil, the Made for Locs growth serum, the Made for Locs conditioning oils, the different ones that I showed you, including the spray oil, the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner for like if you have beginner and starter locks and you want to condition your hair, but can't use a full-on conditioner. That's good for when you have starter locks. The orange castile shampoo, which is a clarifying and detoxing shampoo, black charcoal shampoo. And you hear me saying black charcoal shampoo, but make no mistake about it. All these shampoos that I'm talking about smells amazing. The black charcoal shampoo, I think it smells like vanilla, almost like cake. Of course, the orange castile smells like fresh oranges. And then there is the ACV clarifying shampoo. Now, I know it says it stands for apple cider vinegar. No, it's not funky like vinegar. It actually smells like fresh, crisp apples. So it smells really good. The rose and hibiscus shampoo and conditioner, which is formulated to help with extra moisture for color treated hair. Color treated hair does require more moisture because, it kind of breaks down the protein in the hair and makes the hair feels a little harsher and harder. So it's always good to have something that's going to really hydrate your hair and moisturize it. The rose and hibiscus shampoo and conditioner is excellent for that. And in general, if you just have really dry, brittle type hair, they're not just for color treated hair. The rose and hibiscus shampoo and conditioner is for hair that feels really dry and brittle and stuff like that. However, the ACV shampoo does soften the hair as well because of the acidic nature of the apple cider vinegar that's in it. It balances your pH levels, which softens the hair. And then aloe vera refresher spray, which is what I use to moisturize my hair during that short demo of a moisture routine earlier in the video. So these are the products that we talked about. You, again, can go to the website, which is in the comments, not the comments, but in the description below. I will provide a link there for you to go straight to the website and you can browse through. If you want to get started, I suggest getting the whole gift set that comes with the little grooming bag. With that set, it comes with the aloe vera refresher spray, pomade, which we did not talk about, but that's good for you doing your retwist. It comes with the oil, bottle of ACV shampoo. Then there's a few bonus items that they throw in there for you too. And then it comes in a wonderful grooming bag where you can carry your toiletries in. I will start there, and then grow your stash from there. Okay, again, the website is going to be in the description of this video. And moving on, let's finish and wrap this all up. Hello, so thank you so much for sticking and hanging with me through this almost hour of talking and understanding the pros and cons of using oil on your hair and your locks. Okay, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I look forward to re-recording all of these Locs talks because I had fun doing this one. It took a while to do, but I decided I'm not going to re-edit any of the things that I did because I did learn a lot over the time it took me when I first started doing Locs talks to where I am now. So I'm going to leave the editing as far as what I put on my videos, and I'm just changing the video portions of it with the information that I provide and the brand that I now use. All right. Peace and blessings to you. Till next time.